Hello. Ooh, yeah, scary. You know what's spookier than a Halloween movie? A bad Christmas movie. So I originally wanted to upload this around Halloween time, considering the intro. However, I got a nice little surprise. The copyright owner of the movie blocked my video from being seen anywhere. Got it figured out, and I really hope you enjoy this video because a lot went into it. So it's just my thing now to watch movies that 90 Day Fiancé cast members have been in, and the one that we'll be watching today features Elizabeth, who debuted on season 5 of 90 Day Fiancé. She married her husband Andre, who moved to the US from Moldova to be with her, and honestly she's put up with some questionable behavior from him.
I'm over here stressed out and pregnant and have all this weight on my shoulders.
Don't terrorize me with your pregnancy.
They're gonna talk it out now.
Well, you're the only one that's misbehaving. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Doctor, bravo,
No, you can sit next to him if you want to talk. I'm not going to be the one.
Why don't you speak up and talk? What's gonna do? What's gonna do?
There is decisions to be made now.
How can
together.
you trust me?
Together.
We're married. I can't.
Where are you going? You
I'm
have to
done
talk.
talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. We're at a family
Okay, so let's go back. Leave my house. Leave my birthday house.
But ultimately, they do seem happy. And I actually reviewed a movie that featured her sister Becky, who has also made appearances on 90 Day Fiancé from association.
I know. I really am not proud about what I just did. She has a motherly instinct. You will never.
Motherly?
Your marriage is not going to last if you don't trust her. Here I am defending my sister again to Andre. I had no idea that she never told him.
And it was hands down the worst movie I have ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. But I did get a comment on that video suggesting that I watch this movie called Secrets in the Snow that stars Elizabeth. Now that I think about it, the commenter's name was also Elizabeth. She's Elizabeth. She's Elizabeth. You're Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth. Are there any other Elizabeths I should know about? Ah, yes, SpongeBob. Now, I took a look at the IMDb page, and it does have 5.9 stars out of 10. That's probably the highest rated movie that I've watched from the 90 Day cast members. So it might not be that bad after all. The movie description is 6 students are left locked alone inside their high school during a winter storm. As conditions worsen, wills are tested, friendships are created, and secrets are revealed. When I read that, I'm thinking there's gonna be fighting. There's gonna be crying. There's gonna be screaming. There's gonna be drama. Let's find out. So the first thing I see when the movie plays is faith and family, and this leads me to believe this is probably a Christian movie. The next thing I see is Bridgestone Multimedia Group, and out of curiosity I did Google it just to see if it was a Christian multimedia company, but when I typed it into Google, the first word that autofilled afterwards was lawsuit. So of course I had to check that out, but it was nothing crazy. What I found was Bridgestone versus Carol, and they accused Carol of unauthorized use of their copyrighted materials. So they're one of those. Well, I'm just gonna say fair use, baby. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I've never had this happen before. I have worked like extremely hard on this video. This is like my 5th attempt to try to upload this video because I've taken out parts. I've made the movie clips shorter and shorter and shorter to try to not trigger their copyright. I don't know. And so now I'm just gonna put these clips in the actual video. And would you look at that? I have to dispute this video just to get it to be able to be viewed by people. All right, so this is first reaction cam. I have not seen a trailer for this movie. I don't know anything about this movie except for that Elizabeth from 90 Day Fiancé is in the movie. I know it probably involves some secrets and it probably involves some snow. That is the extent of what I know. So this is very first reaction, and I'm making my boyfriend watch it with me.
Yay!
Also, I'm trying heatless curls. The movie opens up with a voiceover of a news anchor talking about an upcoming snowstorm that's supposed to hit later that afternoon.
It looks as though a large snowstorm will hit by late afternoon.
We see the first main character, Camille. And I say the first main character because there's like 6 main characters.
Watch the progression of this storm. Samantha?
Oh, I guess she didn't want to hear about the storm. Very weird way to turn off a TV. Pause. She also seems to be just alone in the house and says, "Bye, have a good day." And then no one responds. Kind of sad. Then we meet the second main character of the movie, Brant. We see a diverse group of kids sitting around at a table doing arts and crafts, and I thought his family owned like a home daycare service, but I guess his family just fosters children for fun. Brant seems to be the older brother who takes on a lot of the responsibilities, including contributing financially.
I really appreciate all you do, Brant. I know how hard you've been working lately. I'm showing the McConnell Street house to this couple for the 3rd time, and as soon as this sale goes through, things are really going to start looking up.
That's great, Mom. Good luck. I get off at 9, so just call me at the store if you think of anything you need me to bring home.
Thanks, Brant.
That was the most inauthentic mother-son reaction I've ever seen. Like,
that was mundane.
It looked like they were reading off of a teleprompter. Hello, Austin. I hope you have a great day at school today. I'm going to be making a sale on a house, so hopefully that sale goes through.
Thanks, Mom.
Then his sister asks if he could walk her to the bus stop and help her with some vocabulary flashcards. Typical brother-sister activities. At least I think. I don't know. I don't have siblings. But he's like, yeah, sure.
Okay, lackadaisical.
I'm sorry, did you just try to swallow your tongue, or are you saying a word? Also, didn't she say flashcards? Why is he just throwing out random words to her like she's supposed to know what it is?
Lack of daisies. Can you keep it 8th grade for my sake, please?
Hey, you're gonna have to learn soon enough.
You're really close then.
He's lying. He's supposed to be teaching her the real definition, which is lacking enthusiasm and determination, which is a great way to describe some of the acting in this movie. The lack of emotion and reaction to things is insane, but you'll see what I mean. And then Mom sends the kids off to school as she takes a long sip from her mug, and we just watch her stand in the kitchen and stare out the window. And the scene lasted a lot longer than it needed to. The next main character we meet is Mary Jake. I don't know if that's her full first name or if she just goes by her first and middle name. Either way, people love saying her name in this movie.
Mary Jake. Mary Jake.
Mary Jake.
Mary Jake?
Mary Jake. Mary Jake. Mary Jake. Mary Jake.
Mary Jake. To be fair, it does fly off the tongue. We learn that Mary Jake is the typical wealthy, spoiled brat.
Mom, are you almost ready? I don't want to be late again.
And a little Easter egg, we hear something has happened to her car.
You're gonna have to take the bus.
Are you kidding me? What about Dad?
Don't bother your father. He needs to catch up on his rest. You know how stressed he's been lately.
Well, maybe if I still had my own car, I wouldn't have to be such a burden on you.
Mary Jake, I don't want to hear it. You know as well as I do why you don't. I'll see you after school.
And now, the reason I watched this movie, we have Elizabeth, whose character in the movie's name is Lynn. We don't know much about her except for that she hates food.
Did you get something to eat, sweetie?
No.
Breakfast's the most important meal of the day.
Mom, don't worry about it. It will just get wasted. I'm not that hungry.
Oh, Lynn, do you need a check for your lunch account?
No, I'm fine. Plus, it's the last day before Christmas break anyway, so see you later.
Oh, I used to hate that in the morning.
I was gonna say, I don't miss that at all. I
really-
never want to do that again.
Yeah, I swear.
Then we meet Grayson. All he wants to do is spend time with his dad. But his dad is busy businessman who hates his son and just wants to drink Starbucks.
Hey, can I catch a ride with you? My car's been acting up in the cold. I'm really running behind this morning, son, and I want to pick up Starbucks on the way. Mindy's still out on maternity leave. Dad, it's right on the way.
Yo, he's a piece of shit, Dad. He said, I gotta go to Starbucks.
You know, you can walk there as quickly as I can drive you, Grayson.
Alright, he either walks really fast or his dad drives really slow. Or the school's across the street. One of those has to be it. Anyway, it cuts to the school and Mary Jake is walking with her girl boss friends and she's talking about how humiliating it was to ride the bus. Ugh, Can you imagine? Public transportation. How embarrassing. I couldn't help but feel distracted by all the background audio. I know it's supposed to just be like buzzing of kids talking just to showcase, yeah, they're out of school and the kids are talking and they're in the hallway and it's busy. But like you can hear like specific like, yeah, and so I went to the school and I play football. Where do you play? I also play. Hey guys, have you seen my mom? It's just a little distracting.
Riding the bus this morning was humiliating. What a way to start Christmas vacation.
Sweetie, you know you can call me next time. Can't have you waiting at the bus stop.
We learn Mary Jake's car is actually in the shop.
How long is your car gonna be in the shop though? It seems like it's been forever.
Then we see some of the main characters from earlier taking a test of some sort, and then this mysterious lady walks in the room and starts whispering to the teacher. And then an announcement comes over the intercom saying that there's a snowstorm warning and they're gonna have to cancel the rest of school.
Attention students. The National Weather Service has just issued a severe snowstorm warning for our area. Your remaining exams will be rescheduled following the holiday break.
That guy sounded extremely thrilled. Yes, oh my god. Something I thought was weird is that they announced that students who drove themselves to school can't drive themselves home until they hear from their parents and their parents give them permission to drive home. And those who don't get their parents' permission by 2 p.m. just has to stay at the school.
All students that have not been picked up or signed out by 2 p.m. are to wait in the gym until transportation has been arranged.
And they state that transportation will be arranged, so keep that in mind. Another little random thing I noticed is that the teacher started writing endangered species on the whiteboard, but then later in the scene, it just says in danger. Then we see everyone who's still waiting for their parents' permission in the gym with some overly cheerful music. Then the music abruptly cuts and a teacher comes in the room to make an announcement.
Bobby Cawthorn, Caroline Tripp, you are free to go. The rest of you, we're still waiting to hear from your parents before the school can allow you to leave. Thanks, guys.
Meanwhile, Mary Jake is trying to convince her friend Sydney to pretend to be her mom to call into the school and pick her up because she does not want to stay there. And for whatever reason, her friend just doesn't. Then we see Grayson tries calling his dad, and you can kind of tell that his relationship with his dad is not the greatest.
I know you're in a meeting. I really need you to call the school so they can release me. Bye, I guess.
Then in walks a bald man in a suit, who I'm assuming is the principal, and he starts this sentence as if he's a presidential candidate giving a speech.
Well, hello, students. I'm sorry I've not been able to get a hold of your parents. I'm going to attempt to go home to my own children before the storm gets any worse.
Yeah, I was waiting for that music to pop right back up.
No, the music doesn't actually start playing, but it would be so funny if it did. Like, well, hello students, I see you're stuck here in the gym after school because there's a blizzard outside. I get to go home with my family and children, but alright, peace out. So they're left at the school with only one teacher who's probably not getting paid overtime. And then this kid in the camo jacket, who I believe is the new kid in school, and we don't know the name of yet, suggests everyone plays basketball to try to lift up everyone's spirits.
Hey, what's her name? Dude, how do you not know her name?
Give him a break, Brent. He's only gone here a few weeks. It's Mary Jake Harper. Her family owns like half of Raleigh, and her dad is...
Hey, Mary Jake, come join us.
I'm good, really.
Come on, what are you afraid of?
Nothing, okay? I just don't feel like playing.
Well, I don't really feel like being stuck in the gym all night either, but looks like we're kind of out of luck.
Quite frankly, she looks disgusted to be around them because she's obviously too good for them. So they're all playing basketball and this little jingle starts playing, and I could have sworn they were all gonna start singing. It's hard to believe that I couldn't see that you were always right beside me.
Okay, so let's play horse. But if you miss your shot, you have to tell everyone the reason why you're stuck here today.
Grayson's our local basketball legend.
We find out Camille has a car, and Mary Jake is not happy about it.
Give someone else your get-out-of-jail card, then.
The new kid decides to ask her why she's stuck here, and this is her response.
My car's in the shop, and my parents are very busy because they're very important people. Happy now?
Yep.
They're so important, in fact, that they forgot about their only child. Then it's Lynn's turn, and she sucks ass. so she has to say why she's there.
I drive, and my car is here, but my parents are so protective, they don't want me driving this weather, so now my aunt is supposed to come get me, but she freaks out a little bit too, so I think maybe my great-uncle Lou is coming with the semi-truck after he finishes his route.
Yeah, so I do drive, but my parents don't want me driving in this weather, so my aunt was supposed to come pick me up, but it turns out she's actually scared of the snow. So then we were gonna send my aunt's brother's sister's cousin to come pick me up, but she's actually allergic to the snow, so now my great uncle, in walks the lone teacher that's stuck at the school with them, and she makes them move to the library. Then we see this almost cool basketball transition. Nice. It cuts to them walking in the hallway, and we hear Brant ask someone if they're coming to the Christmas service. But this was obviously a voiceover because his mouth never moved.
You coming to the Christmas service?
And then I realized that the only one who got their voiceover to match their mouth was the teacher.
Sure. Are you gonna be singing? Well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. It's gonna be a fun time.
This is gonna suck. I don't know what we're gonna do. Mary Jake decides to use the restroom.
I'll meet you guys there.
But in reality, she uses that as an excuse to try to escape, because if you couldn't tell, she's way too good to be hanging out with these losers. Mary Jake hasn't even been in the bathroom for a minute yet, and the teacher's like, Lynn, go look for Mary Jake.
Mary Jake? Mm-hmm. Sure, Mrs. Burgess.
So Lynn goes to look for her in the bathroom, and she's gone? Who would have guessed? And when Lynn tells the teacher she's missing, she shows absolutely no emotion.
Mrs. Burgess, I think she may have left the school. I can't say for sure.
She's pretty upset she had to stay.
Well, how far could she possibly get in the weather? She said she didn't have a car.
Maybe she just wanted to be alone.
I would report this teacher
When have you ever seen Mary
so
Jake Harper
quickly.
alone?
I didn't realize. Okay, let's split up and look for her. She could still be somewhere in the school. The library if you find her.
Okay, Miss Burgess.
On some Scooby-Doo shit.
I know, what if this turned into a horror movie?
And what do you know? They find her sitting outside in the blizzard. She hated these people so much that she would rather freeze outside in a blizzard than just be around them. That's crazy.
Okay, everyone, back to the library.
And then we get these various shots of them just sitting in the library to show that time is passing. And they chose to put this song over it. I'm sorry, what is this foreshadowing? Is someone gonna die? Extremely confusing song to put over that, but okay. They start talking to each other, and Grayson asks where Brant works.
Well, after school I work at Lowe's Foods, and then on the weekends I work concessions at the ball field during the day, and I bus tables at Vincenzo's at night.
Wow.
I don't know if that stutter was intentional for his character, or if they just didn't want to re-record that line because it took him too long to say the full sentence. I know what that's like. Yeah, so I do drive, but my parents don't want me driving in this weather, so, oh my god. So then we were gonna send my aunt's cousin, I'm gonna say this line, but it turns out, so now my great uncle, that has to be it. Anyway, we find out Brant busts his ass to try to support his family because, again, they foster like 20 kids. Then Grayson's daddy issues arise again.
Wow. Maybe I'll come live with you too.
I saw that car you pulled up in. You don't seem to be too bad off.
Well, I'd trade that car any day if it meant that my dad would actually act like a human being.
And Mary Jake comes in with this.
Go, cry a little bit more. You guys are all pathetic.
Sweet girl, really.
What's wrong?
You want to know what's wrong?
Yeah, please enlighten us.
You. What's your name again, new kid? Because I don't think anybody bothered to ask or to care.
It's Anthony. Anthony David Goodwin.
Because everyone says their entire full name when you meet them for the first time.
And this is probably the only time I'm ever going to say this, but she's right.
Well, I think you're great, Anthony, and we're all sorry.
Then Mary Jake calls out Lynn.
Watch out for this one. She'll think you're so great, she'll try to become you. 5th grade, we were friends somehow.
Stop pretending you're so perfect, Mary Jake. You're the one that was standing alone in a blizzard.
The only reason I was out there is because I'd rather freeze to death than be stuck in here with you.
Then go back out there then. What are you waiting for? Mary Jake continues to stir the pot and everyone just starts arguing.
Don't talk to her like that.
Oh, give me a break, Grayson. You're the one who completely humiliated Camille in freshman year when you found out she had a crush on you.
You don't know the first thing about me, Brant.
I know that you hang out with the super cool crowd and you have a different girlfriend every week.
And your dad doesn't even love you.
But tell me one thing you know about me.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry.
Once they're done arguing, they go to the cafeteria to look for some mean chili dogs.
Maybe some mean leftover chili dogs if we're lucky.
Oh, gross.
But all they find is stinky chili and some chips. Grayson apologizes to Camille while she's in the middle of pulling books halfway off the shelf but never taking them completely off.
I'm just sorry that you had to experience the old me like that.
I'm just so sorry you had to experience the old me like that. Can you forgive me? Hold on. I have like 7 more books to pull halfway off the shelf and then not take off. If you could give me a second. Oh, okay. Hey, are you finished? Yes, I am done. So you forgive me? Oh no, I'm just finished. You were a dick. I don't forgive you. Oh. So, if you could just lead me to this.
Can you forgive me?
I think so.
And she forgives him, and we see a potential romance start to bloom. Maybe. Yeah, so anyway, my dad, I'm just scared that he doesn't love me anymore. I've been trying to get a hold of him, I don't know. But yeah, it really sucks. So, what's your dad like?
Oh, thank goodness. I was about to eat Mary Jake's hand.
That's a fake laugh, by the way.
Lynn gets called out for not eating, and we do find out that she does have an eating disorder, which makes sense as to why she didn't want to eat breakfast.
I'm really not hungry. Big lunch.
You didn't eat anything at lunch.
And you were watching me eat?
I look at you sometimes, yeah, and I just noticed you were picking out your salad. Just an observation.
And we also find out that Brant has a little crush on Lynn.
Well, why do you look at me?
I look at you because I like you and because I think you're really pretty.
I'll be pretty when I lose 20 pounds.
Lynn, are you crazy? 20 pounds? Come on, you look great.
Thanks, but you're lying.
I like you just how you are.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Skinny doesn't mean pretty. Why do you think
Just
like...
stop, okay? Obviously, none of you know anything and you don't know me, so stop pretending that you do.
Then the power goes out because it is still blizzarding outside.
I'm sorry about what I said before. I just want you to know that I think you're beautiful, and I mean it. I just want you to know that you are too.
Thanks, Brant. I'm gonna try.
And although this wasn't the best movie ever, I will say this was a sweet moment. But then the generator kicks on, the power turns back on. Then the teacher finally comes back out of nowhere. Where has she been, by the way?
I'm going down to the home ec room to find some blankets. Looks like we may be spending the night here.
I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa. We would get blizzards every winter, hands down. Multiple blizzards a year, probably. Not once did our school ever, like, force us to stay there if a blizzard happened. They actually would make us leave. So that's a little unrealistic, but also they said that transportation would be arranged. Who's arranging the transportation? Because they need to be fired. They could have had a single school bus take these kids home, but they didn't. And if you catch a blizzard early enough, you can leave before it gets too bad. So the fact that they like just kept them there and just waited for the blizzard to get worse, okay. And as it was mentioned earlier, the movie was filmed in Raleigh, North Carolina, where the average temperature in December is between 54 degrees and 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and freezing temperatures start at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're probably more likely to just get rain than snow, yet somehow they're having one of the worst blizzards known to man. Anyway, Grayson has diabetes.
I'm diabetic. It doesn't really give me any problems, but I should probably get my kit out of my locker.
Okay, you can come with me and we'll stop by your locker on the way back.
Okay.
And everyone is making it a big deal.
Can I be the first to say I find that very surprising?
I mean, everyone sees Grayson as this, like, model high schooler.
So, do you think that if people knew he had diabetes, that would change the way they think of him?
Of course it would. They see him as perfect, and he's not.
And Mary Jake really thinks she's serving with all these little snarky lines, but half the time, she's just not even making any sense. She just says a sentence with an attitude and no one questions it.
Well, who is perfect then, Mary Jake? You?
I sure wish I lived in your perfect little world, Camille. Because the world I live in, that's just how it is. That world is called high school.
Oh, you think you're so perfect? Try eating baked beans for every meal. That little story is called gassy, moron. Like, what are you saying? Grayson comes back and the sound cuts out when it's supposed to seem like Brant is saying something to him. It just goes completely silent.
What? Yeah, Well, it's not something I go advertising.
They've never seen anyone with diabetes before. Like, this is so foreign to all of them.
Do people know?
I mean, my teachers know, most of my friends. Doesn't make me any different.
Wait, so your friends know you have diabetes and it doesn't change anything?
No, why would it?
This reminds me of when Nick Jonas announced that he had diabetes and everyone just thought he was dying.
Hi, I'm Nick Jonas. In 2005, I was diagnosed with diabetes.
Not to undermine the severity of diabetes, because I know it can be extremely scary when not taken care of, but the way they're treating this as if it's just some mysterious disease, it's like, it's diabetes. Like, chill out.
My parents had me really young and I was born with type 1 diabetes.
Do you ever think maybe that's why your dad doesn't want to spend time with you?
And Mary Jake is just a bitch. That's it. I don't care. I'll say it.
I'm just making an observation.
He may have odd ways of showing it, but my dad loves me.
You know what my deep dark secret is? I love chips.
Deep dark secrets around the room. Go. I used to bite my toenails.
I don't know, gosh,
Me, a secret? I don't know, golly. Well, I guess one time when I was 5, I was playing with lighters and I set the house on fire, and we lived in a duplex, so ultimately that set the neighbor's house on fire, and then I got in a lot of trouble and everyone was really mad at me for a really long time. No, she didn't say that, but that did actually happen to one of my old neighbors when we were kids.
I used to cook with my Easy Bake Oven until I was 15.
They all go around revealing their secrets, and Lynn gets a call from her mom that her uncle hit a snowbank, and Lynn does not seem concerned at all.
He hit a snowbank or something. He ran off the road.
Oh my gosh, is he gonna be all right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he hit a snowbank or whatever, he's fine. Brant and Grayson bond in the hallway. Then they walk into their teacher crying.
Everything okay?
I've been waiting for over an hour to hear back from my husband. Now that the lines are down, I don't know when I'll hear from him.
Have you heard anything about the students at Daniels Middle School?
Last I heard, we were the only school in the district with students left.
They're the only school in the district with students left. So that means his mom picked up all the kids except for him and just left him at the school. And was like, you know what?
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, Brent got it.
He's gotta work afterwards. He's the provider.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pray for your husband. Is that okay?
It's perfectly fine, Brant. Thank you.
And then just walks away. He never actually prays for her husband. They go back to the library and they line the library doors with blankets and coats to try to keep the heat in. And Anthony gets a little defensive about his jacket.
Give me your jacket. You should be fine in that sweatshirt.
Nah, I'm gonna hang on to it.
Come on, man. You're making me sweat just looking at you. If you get cold, you can get it back.
I said no.
Then they start beefing.
Before you're so quick to judge your dad for not being the perfect father, why don't you stop for a second and think about all of the things that he actually does for you and what you'd do if he wasn't there at all.
Is that your dad's?
Yeah, he's been in Iraq for 3 years.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know.
It's cool. Just remember what you have.
Then there's a wholesome scene of them playing the very popular game called Kick the Crinkled Up Paper Ball Between the Stacked Books, a high school classic.
How old are you guys? Keep it down.
What a buzzkill. Stop talking. And then they start giving her a taste of her own medicine.
Look what you did. It's ruined.
It's not like you're not getting 10 more iPods for Christmas.
No.
Oh, one iPod and a new Lexus then, right?
Oh, stop, okay? I'm not getting any of
Did you ask for a new pony this year, Mary Jane?
No! I'm not getting any of those things. My parents are bankrupt.
What happened?
I guess my dad made some big investment that went bad and now everything is a mess.
So what are you gonna do about it?
Excuse me? I can't do anything about it.
You could get a job.
There's no way I'm getting a job.
Then you know what, Mary Jake? I don't want to hear you crying about how pathetic your life is if you're not gonna do a single thing to make it better.
I cannot get a job. If my friends saw me waiting tables somewhere, they'd die.
If they're really your friends, then they shouldn't care.
And Anthony's just like, aw. Anyway, I have an idea. Follow me.
Let's go, everyone.
He takes them to the theater, and they all jog in a single file line towards the stage, except for Mary Jake, because she's pouting in the audience. Did somebody say silly wig montage?
That's low-key racist. That gotta be racist. Look at what he be doing with his eyes. It's the eyes that he's killing me with. He's squinting on purpose. That's That's crazy.
That was its own little moment, and now they have a talent show.
Well, that works a lot better in the summertime.
It's like a 5-year-old talent show.
It's like when a toddler's like, look what I can do. Cool.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's talent.
Somewhere around here.
Yeah? No, we gotta go to Europe, man.
You gotta bring those flowers, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la.
And they make Camille singing just really awkward. I don't know why they made this scene like this, but it just felt weird watching it for some reason.
La 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 la.
And then the teacher, who has been spending 0 time with these students, comes running in all worried, and then Grayson starts feeling a little woozy. They go back to the library, he chugs this mystery soda, and he's fine.
I'm fine.
And one thing about this group is they cannot stay in one spot. The moment they get back to the library, they decide, let's go back to the cafeteria, because they're all hungry. And a lot of this movie is just scenes of them leaving and entering rooms. So they get to the cafeteria and they're looking for some food. They all made spaghetti, and because of course this is a Christian movie, they have to say grace before they eat. And Mary Jake, who has never cooked a food before because she's had everything in life handed to her, makes perfect brownies on the first try with no measuring cups and no eggs, just vegetable oil and a box of brownies.
Hands down, best brownie ever to be made from a box.
Oh, he wasn't kidding. Wow.
It's better than Grandma's.
Thanks, guys.
The power goes back out and they make their way back to the library, and Anthony and Grayson are fighting again.
Okay, I get it. Your dad's off in Iraq, and that's rough. But my dad might as well be there too, because that's exactly what it feels like.
Well, at least your dad's alive.
But you said...
I know what I said. It's just easier that way. He died 2 months ago. If I don't talk about it, it seems like he's just still away.
But still, he does not need to invalidate his feelings like that. Like, stay in your lane, bro. Then they sit around the table and talk about what they want for Christmas. And Miss Bridges overshares just a little bit.
My husband and I have been trying to have a baby.
I don't know if she should be talking about that with students. Not that it's inappropriate, but it's just like, okay. After whatever that was, there's a knock on the door.
Wait, what's that sound?
Does anyone else think that sounded like someone knocking?
Who could it be? Is it A, Mary Jake's friend Sydney, B, Grayson's dad, or C, Lynn's great uncle? Go ahead and lock those answers in. So the adult teacher sends the teenage students to go see who's knocking on the door.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you guessed B, you're correct. So they help Grayson's dad inside and they just start yelling, help.
We need help!
And of course, the adult teacher waits for the teenage students to volunteer to go help because she doesn't want to. So Brant goes and guides them back to the library, and Camille boils a bunch of water bottles. Which, would that even work? Wouldn't the bottles deform because of the heat? Whatever, it doesn't matter. This movie doesn't make sense. So they start warming Grayson's dad up, and what's this? Anthony gives him his special jacket that belonged to his dad. The students that are helping and contributing are like, you know, getting him bundled up, warming him up. And then the teacher just randomly says, "Good job, girls."
Good job, girls.
To the 2 girls that didn't contribute in any way, including herself. She also did not contribute in any way. Why is she even there? Then Grayson and his dad have a heart-to-heart.
Eventually the car got stuck in a snowbank, and I tried to walk the rest of the way. I didn't want you to think that I didn't try to get to you. I mean, and with your car acting up in the cold.
Actually, my car's fine. I just said it this morning because I wanted to spend a few minutes with you.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you work so hard to provide for me.
I just don't want you to ever think you come second to my work. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel that way.
Aww. Then we get a nice under-the-table shot here. And then Camille might be depressed.
I guess that sometimes I just don't feel happy. I get this feeling like something is wrong or missing.
Or might not be.
Not like I'm depressed or anything.
I really don't know what she's going through. So they end up staying the night at the school, and then it cuts to the next day, and they're all waking up. They find out that they have to wait for the snowplow before they can leave. But first, snowball fight. Now keep in mind, they just had the blizzard of the century. They got stranded at the school, the power went out, they lost phone service, anyone in a moving vehicle on the road seemed to get stuck in a snowbank, and you're telling me this is all the snow that they got? Look at the roof. See, that's how I know whoever wrote this movie really never experienced a blizzard, because what the hell? I will say the drama of the blizzard is not the drama I was expecting, but whatever. And then we see a cute little BFF moment.
I'd really like it if we could just spend some time together. It sounds great.
So they have a little snowball fight, and then it's Christmas Eve. And all of the snow has melted already, and it must not be that cold anymore considering this girl's wearing a mini skirt. So they all arrive to the church. Then we get the most awkward and uncomfortable scene within the whole movie. And it's like this shot of the children singing, and you know, it's children singing, so it's not that good, and the singing's just awkward. And then we get the close-up of the back of someone's head as if they're gonna do something groundbreaking. Everyone stares at her and smiles. At this point, I'm still trying to figure out who is this, but then it's just Camille, and she just takes a seat at the front, away from everyone, and doesn't sing or do anything. And that's it! Oh, but don't forget this extra clip that they threw in at the end.
So what does the big dog say? Nice.
Overall, I have seen worse movies. And this actually wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. It was just boring. The whole movie was just bouncing from storyline to storyline between the characters, and I found myself losing interest quite a bit. I did look and see that the budget was $100,000, and I think they did a decent job with what they had. The acting wasn't the worst I've ever seen, although the emotion was not there in majority of the characters. I decided to look at some of the reviews from IMDb. One writes, 10 out of 10, basically a winter sequel Breakfast Club. 8 out of 10, good topics for thought and conversation covered in a mostly lighthearted way. 1 out of 10, just a miss. Wow, this is not the Breakfast Club. The script is horrible and the acting is even worse. 5 out of 10, Christian Breakfast Club. 7 out of 10. Can you say Breakfast Club? So there's a lot of comparisons to the Breakfast Club. That's about it. Would I ever watch this movie if I wasn't making this video on it? No, I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again, actually. Let me know what your thoughts were. If you have any other movies that you know of that 90 Day Fiancé cast members have been in, do comment them, because I will make a video on them. This is probably long, so if you watch this whole thing, I appreciate you. My name is Maddie the Baddie, your new favorite YouTuber. Hello, feel free to subscribe. And before we go, I have a little secret. I'm actually not even real. Just kidding. See you in my next video, hopefully. Bye.